thing on?
Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2.
What? Are we back in this bitch?
We're in it to win it, Cullen.
Bitches in the front. I got my horses in the back. Did you see he came out of the closet?
What?
You've even been on social media?
No.
Lil Nas.
Listen, Cullen.
Now you hear the meaning of the song.
Who?
Lil Nas and Billy Ray Cyrus.
They're together?
The Old Town Road song?
Okay, let me just tell you that I thought that Corey makes so much fun of me for this, but I thought that when I was singing along, I was in the car one day, that song came on, I'm singing it, what I thought the words were, and I was singing, I'm going to take my hose to the hotel room.
I'm going to take my horse to the Old Town Road.
Yeah, that is not at all what I thought it said. And Corey turns it down. He goes, what the fuck did you just say? And I was like, I'm going to take my hose to the hotel room.
That's a good little remix.
Like, no, Brittany, that's not at all what they're saying. I was like, that sounds exactly like what they're saying.
Yeah, so on the last day of the Pride Month, last month, he came out on Twitter and said...
Billy Ray Cyrus?
No, Lil Nas, who is a African-American, like, country rapper, you know, like, it was crazy. And then, like, you have a whole different meaning. And even on one of his albums...
I still don't get it. Why does that make sense?
Because there's more lyrics.
Take my horse down to Old Town Road. It still doesn't make sense.
I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. Like,
that's what I was saying, the hoe thing. He took my house to the hotel room and like ride till I can't.
He on his album art, he had like him on a horse, and then the foreground or background was a cityscape, and one of the buildings was lit up. All the buildings were like lit up with different colors, but one of them was a rainbow. And he even tweeted that picture and said, "I thought I gave it away."
Oh.
And like, so yeah, he got all this
good
publicity.
For you.
I know. I was proud of Lil Nas.
Little Nas.
Should we start this podcast?
Oh, hey, y'all.
Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Don't Tell Mom podcast, episode 57.
Didn't even see y'all sitting over there.
Oh my gosh, this is the brother and sister duo podcast where anything and everything goes.
That's
if you see me checking my phone, then that means I am just checking everything because.
Cullen, I don't know if we're going to be able to get through this podcast, first of all. Cullen can't get off his phone right now because I got to tell him what you're doing.
Well, I didn't mean to do this. But so we have open house today and we have people walking through our house. But we also have Nest cams in our kids' rooms for where we can see.
I have them too.
The kids, yeah. And I got a notification and then as I was pulling out of the driveway, I got another notification. I was like, what is going on? Oh.
People are walking through.
I got stuck creeping. So if you're trying
He's straight spying on y'all right now.
If you're walking through the house, I can see everything you're saying. There's nothing bad or anything. It's so intriguing, though, because there's that whole dynamic of, like, these people invading your privacy, but you want them to invade your privacy.
Because you want them to see themselves in your house and all that.
These little kids going in there yanking toys out of Brooks's toy bin and like playing with the train table. And
you're like, hey, put that down. What if you just came over the Nest Cam and was like, hey, put that down?
I know, right?
Like, do you think he'd lose the sale?
No, I don't know. I mean, it's legitimate, you know, they're Nest Cams. But, and then we have like the outside perimeter decked out of our, you know, so you ain't getting in our house without anybody seeing or hearing.
He's got security. He's got ADT
all the
on
security.
His side.
Yeah.
But he's also over here creeping because, I mean, come on, what would y'all do if y'all had the camera set up and then someone walks outside to where your doorbell camera is and they're standing there talking about, oh, well, I didn't really like the master, but I liked the thing. You know, like if they're sitting there talking and having a conversation about your house, you can't help but creep. I mean, come on. I'd be stalking them. I'd be like, you know, listening, eavesdropping or whatever too. So I'm
trying not to that much, but then like every time I get a notification, I'm like, oh, are they interested? I don't know. Okay. Well, and luckily we don't have them like in the main area, like
right,
you know,
where they're actually talking and stuff.
Yeah, it's just the kids' rooms and then
like,
the perimeter.
Because as soon as Cullen told me that, he was like, man, I keep getting the notifications that people are walking in the rooms or whatever. I was like, oh, let me see, because I want to see. I was like, dang it, I wish you had him in all of them. Like, I would totally watch that all day. But, well, good luck.
Man.
I'm excited for your open house. If y'all didn't know, if you're just tuning in, Cullen's been he's been getting his house ready to sell. And he has, like, him and Katie have seriously done a number on this place. Like, the before and after pictures of their house before. I didn't realize y'all were such hoarders. You just, you masked it by having such a big house. That you couldn't tell. Like if you had a small house.
Oh, see, I just got a notification that there's motion at the front door on the Ring Doorbell. See, we got it all. We got the
Yeah.
we got the Ring, we got Nest, we got all the security. But
ain't coming
I'm
out.
not even going to look at that. But,
Just put it down, Cullen.
just
We got
let it go.
podcasting
Let it
to
go.
do.
But yeah, so it's interesting. I actually brought a pair of clothes over here because I was like, I've got to shower before I go. And Katie was like, we don't have time. We got to go. We got to get out of here. And
Yeah.
so I was like, okay, I'll shower at Britany's. And then by the time I got in the car and the AC hit me and all the gel came out of my hair,
Yeah,
I was
you're
like,
good.
whatever.
I don't care.
I'm just a sweaty mess. But
It's okay. It's okay. We'll take it.
yeah, it's been an interesting process. It's interesting because I don't know, just hearing the feedback from some of y'all on our main channel, and then hearing some of the feedback from the realtor, and just like, did we take too much out? You know,
the little snippets of the people walking by. And
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
like, do you want to make it more homey, or do you want it to just be bare? Like,
I liked watching y'all's video of like how to stage though. That's pretty interesting, you know.
Yeah,
all
that
the
was
tips
fun.
the realtor gives you and stuff. I love that. You know, it's crazy. You were like this whole, you know, you selling your house and just mom fixing up her house to get it ready to sell. It's just been, it's been on my mind a lot. This is our topic for today is your houses, like the houses that you go in through different stages of your life. You know, you have the houses you grew up in. You have the house, your first house. You know, you have like the places that you stayed before you got your first house, like your little apartments and stuff like that.
well, see, you probably don't even remember some of the stuff that I remember from our, like the very first house that I remember.
With the strawberries?
With the strawberries in the treehouse.
No, I say I was a
And all
baby.
that,
I was
yeah.
too young for that. But I remember talking about it. I remember like a picture of us over by the strawberry thing. Like, isn't it crazy how you have all these memories and you associate those memories with where you were living at that time?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And like how much, like I really kind of wonder how much it shapes you and forms you. Do you remember a couple years ago, we went back to the house that we grew up in, and you and me like went and banged on the door of these people's house. It was the house that we grew up, and we banged on the door and we're like, hey, we grew up here. Can you mind if we come in your house and walk around? And you know, can you imagine? Like, what were we thinking? I'd be like,
I don't know. Yeah, like, what if we
know.
weren't those people that actually grew up in that house? You know, they're probably like, wait, what?
what? Yeah. I was like, no, seriously, we grew up here. Can we please just come in? So, but the lady was super nice. She let us in and we walked around, and it was just like, it was so trippy because
It was so weird.
we were pretty much in the same house till we were grown up. Well, I think I was like 14 or something when we moved into the other house that we built our family built ourselves. So to go from that house, and then, you know, you have all the different memories from your more adult childhood in that house that mom's getting ready to sell right now.
Yeah.
So she's painted it and, you know, all this and getting it ready to sell. And it's kind of crazy because I remember when we did the same thing for the house that we grew up in, the first house, and then there was the second childhood house, which is the one we built. And I remember the first one, we got it all cleaned up, ready to sell, right? Staged it or whatever. And mom didn't want to leave. You remember?
Yeah,
She was like, I don't want, she started crying. She's like, I don't want to sell it now because now it's finally clean. And I'm
Right.
like, it's got new paint on it. And it looks like a new
we could
house.
actually have people over. Like, that was
Yeah.
another aspect to growing up. But like in the very first house, I don't remember that much except like being a kid outside more than anything. I don't remember the inside, but then the one that we grew up the most in,
the one that we stayed in for a majority of our childhood. Isn't that? And a lot of people don't even stay in one house that long to where they can form those kind of memories. But man, I could tell you like what it smelled like in that house.
Yeah.
I mean, I just remember that house so well because we were kids and we crawled up and down that. It was the weirdest thing in the basement. It had like this shelf thing.
Yeah. Well, we redid our dad redid, didn't he? Or did it come like that? I think we redid
The basement?
part of the basement, or maybe we didn't. I don't remember. But yeah, there was like a ledge that we had to be down there because of the way the room was.
Yeah, it's like stuff was in I don't know, it was covering up like
Like the ductwork and the pipes and stuff. So there was like a ledge. That was a weird room now that I think about it. Like,
right. But we spent so much time in that room, and we would fight over the remote control in that room. That was Dad. That was like we had a den downstairs. So the house we grew up in, it was like it was one level, but then it has a basement, right? So it was kind of weird. You walk in and you're right into the living room, right when you open the door, and then it goes from the living room. It's open kind of floor plan from the living room to the dining room. And then from the dining room, then there's a door, and we had a little breakfast nook.
Yeah.
And then like a half a wall to separate the breakfast, like on the left when you're walking in. You have the breakfast nook. It had like a was it like built in?
I think it was built in.
Like a bench seat or something. It was the table we had breakfast at. And then it was a half a wall so you could see from that table into the rest of the kitchen. And just so many memories in that kitchen.
Yeah, I don't even remember walking. I mean, I remember knocking on the door, but I can't remember. Like, when I drive by it randomly, still, I'm like, golly, that's a lot smaller than I remember being, like it just looks so different. Like the side yard used to be huge to me.
Yeah.
And the little hydrangea that we used to stand out in front of and take pictures of, I'm like, that was it?
Yeah. We used to have a whole world out there with the roly-polies and the big tree that we would like hide our little stuff in. And yeah, it was so weird.
My gosh.
So you walk in. So this is like the main part of the house when you walk in. I want you to just close your eyes and envision this, okay? Because I can envision it every time I close my eyes. But you go and you literally from the front door, you can just walk a straight line all the way to the back door. And then the back door, you go downstairs. And there was our little yard back there and then a detached garage. Well, okay, so there's the main part. But then to the right, if you go to the right, there's a hallway and it was 3 bedrooms. And it's kind of weird. My parents didn't sleep in the same bedroom because my mom wanted the TV on and it hot. And my dad wanted the air blowing and it like silent pitch black. I mean, they just could not do it. So it was Dad's room and then was the first room and then it was Mom's room and then it was Rachel's room, which is our half sister. So she would come on the weekends. But she was the oldest. She stayed upstairs. And then it was me and Annie shared a bedroom downstairs, and then Cullen had his room downstairs, and then there was the den downstairs.
And there's a storage room and a laundry room downstairs with makeshift shelves.
Where the laundry chute went from. Like there was a bathroom upstairs that had the laundry chute that goes down to the basement where the laundry room was. That was a mess. That laundry
and the storage room was a mess. We called it the storage room. I think it was supposed to be like just a nice, junk room, but then over the years it just ended up like being a hoarder's.
It was our storage, storage room.
It's a hoarder's room.
Yeah, the hoarder's room. But the crazy thing is when you're going downstairs, there was also a ledge right there. So imagine going downstairs.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And we would stay. It was just enough to when you're a kid, you could, imagine a stairs and how wide the stairs are. Well, the ledge would just go straight on the same floor as the stairs went down. So if you walked on you could walk on the ledge.
Like the splits.
You'd be doing the splits, shimmying on this ledge, which was so dangerous.
Yeah,
what were we doing?
Oh, no.
But, you would stand there, and there was the light bulb right there, but you couldn't, burn yourself on the light bulb, but you'd stand right there, and I'd wait until somebody was coming upstairs, and you just scared the bejesus out of them.
Drop stuff on their head, and all that stuff. And it got to where, we'd always look up before we went up the steps to make sure nobody was up there to do something.
It's like, I know you're out there, I know. It's just,
golly, that was crazy.
It's so crazy, the nostalgia of and we were talking earlier about, putting the height. We're going to start Sophia's 6 months. And we're going to start putting our height on the wall, where you draw the line to see your stages. And I was just thinking that we had that in our old house. And it's just crazy to think
then we had to paint over it to sell, Katie's mom actually and dad have one in their laundry room right now. It's a height chart. And they've even got the grandkids and all that. But it's it's all in different pen and Sharpie over the years and stuff with it initialed and all that kind of stuff.
Isn't that crazy? I like that kind of stuff.
We've got one of those Hobby Lobby,
that you can take
oversized ruler looking things that you can hang up on the wall.
Yeah, and I was
it's
saying,
been nice to have.
I was saying I kind of like the idea of it being carved in. Okay, so then we moved to the new house. We built that house. I never wanted to look at a grout line again after we built that house. We put all the tile in that house, all the grout. We did so much work ourselves trying to save money when we were building that house that that we have now. And but Mom's getting ready to sell it, so it's we're going back through this again. It's now it's going to get all pretty and ready, and you're going to fix it all up and remodel it and get it ready to sell, and then you're not going to want to sell it because it's going to look so great.
Well, and there's so much more into that house: the blood, sweat, and tears, and the being in high school and not hanging out with your friends on the weekend. Everybody else was out partying, and we were running electrical wires. Literally, Dad would have me up in the rafters and having me drill holes through the crossbars and stuff to run this wire. And he had an electrician friend, and he taught him how to do it. And
this is before YouTube.
Oh my gosh, yeah, right. This was way before YouTube, but. Geez, that was a whole process because
Yeah.
we were there from the day that driveway got cut out, got stuck down there in the dirt. Like we had to get a tow truck to come pull us out.
Like as much as the house that we grew up in was like ours, and that's always going to be like our house and the house we grew up in, you know, like that song. That's always going to be our house. But the other one is the same. It's even more. It's even more like that in a way, in a different way, because the way that we did it, like we actually put our handprints in the concrete when we poured the driveway. That's the difference in building your own house. You can make these little quirky things that nobody knows but you. Like,
right.
You remember we had saltillo tile all in our house. And the saltillo tile, they're laid out in Mexico in these fields. And, you know, legend has it that when they're laid out to dry in these fields, if a coyote runs across one of them and his footprint is left in this tile, then that tile is supposed to be good luck. So out of the, you know, hundreds and hundreds of tiles that we had to buy to put down in this entire house's tile, out of all of the tile, we had exactly the right amount to put one lucky tile in front of each door. So every bedroom door, when you walk in, you look down and you'll see that there is one of the lucky saltillo tiles with the coyote footprint in it in front of every door.
And some of them even had like dragonfly prints from where a dragonfly got stuck in there while it was curing and that kind of thing. Right. And it was like natural. It was like natural saltillo tile type stuff.
Yeah, no, that was the good stuff. Dad probably got like a hookup or something, you know, like that's why we ended up getting those. But it's those little things that really made that place ours.
Yeah.
On top of that work that we put into it, you know. And the stories, like, God, we had, 2 cement trucks get stuck down there because the driveway's so steep. Like, we had all these cars get stuck down there and we had to get like a cement truck to pull the other cement truck out of it or something. Because
it backed down and it was this driveway is so steep that some of the cement like spilled over the back or something like that. And then the back wheels were getting stuck in that spilt cement and weren't able to get traction. So, it was a process. And that's so weird to see the vision that Dad and Mom had in that lot, in that area. Like, why would you think to put a house right there?
Yeah, that's so hard. That was taken on a big task to try to build a house on the side of a cliff, pretty much.
Never again, though.
Never again. Would you ever build a house, you think?
Not after that, no, because I saw the stress and strain that Mom and Dad went through and we went through, and, you know, like, I just don't know. I know that it's special in a sense, and we learned a lot as a family and that kind of thing, but golly, me and Katie can't even decide on dish towels. Yeah. Nonetheless, like
your style is so different.
When we got when we got the master bathroom redone, we were like, golly, I don't know. Like, what do I do here with this towel? What kind of hardware are we going to get? What faucet do you want? I'm like, could you imagine having to do this for every little thing? At the end of the day, I would have just, like, I'm sure Mom and Dad had give up. Just, you pick it out, whatever. I don't care.
I think that's what happened too with the house, because it's with Mom's house, because it never even got fit. The outside never even got finished painted.
No, because they probably couldn't decide on a paint.
What color they wanted it.
Man, that's crazy. I'm interested to hear in the comments or on voice memos or anything, like how many times y'all have moved throughout your lifetime, or because I know we do have some like military. I couldn't imagine military moms and.
Imagine like literally having to move every year, every 2 years, your whole life. Like, do you have those same like nostalgic things that like you carried with you from house to house? Is there like something that you did in each house? You know, like a picture you kept of each house or something? Like, do you remember all of them? I mean,
I don't know.
Can you imagine being uprooted like that and just having to travel so much and having to move so much that you don't even remember?
I guess you just get used to it. Like, you know, it's not going to be forever, or I don't know. There's a different mentality there. I'm assuming. Yeah. Don't
unpack your bags, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's what's so crazy is like when I know I'm traveling so much, like if I've got back-to-back trips coming up, I would literally just live out of my suitcase. Whenever I get home, I don't want to even unpack my suitcase because I'm like, I'll just take that with me on the next trip and then just pull clothes out of the suitcase and then keep going.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the things I think we talked about this one time. at the bottom of the steps in that old house, the one we grew up in, we used to hook the vacuum hose up because Mom and Dad were always like at the top of the steps making sure.
We thought they were always at the top of the stairs waiting for one of us to come out of our room and try to run across to get to the other room. Like,
this was way before Nest cams or anything like that. So
they just put the fear of God in us, like, we know you're down there. We know that you, like, I swear if you run across, it's going to be right when they're actually standing up there looking. Because Dad, he would literally just stand at the top of the top of the stairs and not make a peep, and he would just stand there.
Yeah.
Because you remember they caught us a couple times, and that's why we were so scared, because they instilled that fear in us, like we are always watching.
Yes.
It's like no,
that they're going to be there somewhere. And one of the craziest things, baby girl,
I'll be right back.
One of the craziest things was like knowing making the layout of each footstep in the house. It was almost kind of like Mom and Dad are crazy for putting the kids downstairs and them upstairs. Like in my house right now, it's vice versa. So I can kind of hear the little pitter patters coming down the steps before they actually come down the steps. But especially in the older house that we lived in, it was like that old school hardwood flooring and stuff, and you could hear every creak, but you got to know which creak sound meant where they were in the house. So if you heard it go, you knew they were in the kitchen. If it went, they were in Mom and Dad's room. Or if it went, you know they were going to the front door, so you could do whatever you needed to do quick.
And you knew where to beeline it to, that you knew there would be no creaks. Like if you could just get to this one spot that had no creaks.
Oh yeah, that was if we were sneaking around upstairs.
Fall back asleep. Yeah.
Yeah. God, I used to like literally hopscotch around upstairs to get to the Swiss cake rolls or something on top of the fridge because I knew where to go, so I wouldn't get a creak going. But yeah, no, it was crazy how you get conditioned and trained on the creaks in the house. I was telling the podcast how it's kind of dumb that they put us downstairs and left them upstairs.
Right,
I don't know.
It heard everything.
Yeah, like I can hear my kids.
We had an exit downstairs.
Yeah,
too. Like,
we had a little basement door downstairs. Hey, baby girl. Sophia has joined the podcast.
Yes,
she is decked out in her bow and looking super fly.
She needed a mommy.
Oh my goodness! Hey.
Hey. Yeah, she's growing like a weed. She's so tall. She like literally is so tall now.
She is so freaking adorable. But so yeah, no, it's kind of interesting because like I'm kind of glad that we're moving out of this after just seeing Sophia and made me think about all this. Like I'm kind of glad that we're moving out of this house now while our kids are at such a young age.
Where they can't remember,
Not necessarily, they can't remember, but because there's so many times, like just yesterday I was like, oh, Gaines, go grab a dish towel out of the drawer. She knew exactly which drawer to go to, that kind of thing. And I was thinking like, dang, she's going to have to relearn where the dish towels are in the new house, that kind of stuff. But
that's okay.
You're not going to, now Gaines is a different story. She might remember this house for everything, but like, especially for Brooks, I don't know. And just the whole, what's it called? So what do you call it? I guess stress that it's causing on them right now because all their toys are disappearing. And like all morning we're like, okay, y'all just need to chill out, have some TV time. Me and Mommy have to do some work.
Like, I want this specific toy. What did you do with it? Give it back.
Well, like they go downstairs and they see all their stuff, even the trampolines down in the basement, and
everything's packed up, ready to go.
That kind of thing. That's got to be a little like traumatizing when they have no control over the environment and the situation. But hopefully,
but think about it. Like, remember you were saying, like, I don't even remember the very first house we were in, and like you kind of remember it, but I mean, you don't really remember. You don't remember being traumatized for moving or anything like that.
Yeah, no.
Here's my question for you though: do you want to have a house that they grow up the majority of their young life? Do you want them to have a house like we had that? Oh, that's the house we grew up in. Like you automatically know 10th Avenue, that's our house that we grew up in, right? Do you want that for them, or is it just kind of like whatever?
No, and that was what kind of thing, the whole tug and pull between my mental capability about this whole decision, because when we first moved in, I was like, this is it. Like,
we're going to be here forever.
We're going to be here forever. Why do we need to move? We've got plenty of room. We're going to grow our family here and have more kids. And then, we just decided that we're done with all that. And then why are we paying for all these extra rooms and yada, yada. So I don't know. So like in the beginning, it was like, yeah, this is it. This is where we're going to have all our memories. I had like the whole landscape in the backyard planned out over the years and like all this stuff.
And Katie grew up in the same house, right? Her whole life.
Yeah.
So I'm sure she kind of wants that stability of like, right? I mean, or does she care? I don't know. Does she care? Do you care? Like,
I think right now, and I don't know if we talked about this on the last podcast. I think right now we don't want to jump into anything so fast. Like, we want to make sure, and I think that's why
it's going to be your forever.
Yeah, it's going to be something that we are absolutely dead set on, so we don't have this debacle come up again.
Right.
But so in the interim, what do? Do you get something nice and cozy, ranch style, farmhouse, whatever, and then move in 2 years again after you see something with a pool or something that you want, or do you rent for a year or two and then not have to have that commitment, rent. Like
I'd say rent and build.
I don't know. Yeah, rent and build. Building.
Make sure. Well, I mean, not like building like we built. Like I'm talking about building like hire a builder and get a builder to build it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like and know exactly what it's going to look like when it's done, and it's just one in the neighborhood kind of thing. Oh
yeah.
Like, all these new houses that they're putting in my neighborhood. It's like one of those. It's, you know what you're going to get. You know what it's going to look like.
There's like a layout for it already and that kind of thing.
Not like you had, like the house the second house we grew up in, that one that we built, that one Dad, like, had our cousin make the floor paint, or she's an architect. Yeah. And she designed the house to go on that hill and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, I think so. For the most,
but like he made this house for it to be our house, like our forever home, and he made it where the grandmother had a place to live.
Well, like we had our own entrance because he knew we were getting to where we were going to be driving in late at night, and so we had our own door to go in downstairs to where we didn't have to bother them.
Yeah,
that was like the coolest. That was like the coolest thing about
floor,
it. Like,
our floor,
yeah, it was almost like a dorm downstairs for the kids.
Yeah,
and then they had their little area upstairs. She's like, "Give me that mic." She's gonna be talking on this podcast here soon.
Y'all, she's learning. She's trying to learn how to say "mama." Well, I'm trying to teach her how to say "mama," and she has confused that with "ba." So she's going "ba, ba." Ba, and I'm like, you're real close, but it's not ba, it's mama. I swear, if she says dad at first, I'm gonna beat Corey up.
we still call Gaines Data because that's what Brooks called her, and we don't know why, like how that even came about.
Right? It's the weirdest thing. I know, like our oldest sister's kids, they call me Aunt Barney forever. They still call me Aunt Barney, don't
Barney,
they?
Yeah,
because they couldn't. They used to watch the Barney, the big, the purple dinosaur all the time. That was in that era, when he was around, when they were growing up, and they just Barney and Britany, they just couldn't get the two, figured out. It was always just Aunt Barney. So that was my name then. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be called what you're gonna be called. So
golly, going back to this house stuff, like I get to where I get sucked in.
I do too. I love it.
This is like dream stuff right here. But Top Villas, they or a rental company.
You need to get off that damn site. What the hell are you doing on Top Villas?
Top Villas, hit us up if you want us to give you some Don't Tell Mom promotion.
Give us a house.
Oh my gosh. But have you seen some of their houses? Like, look at this. If y'all haven't seen Top Villas, then y'all don't need to go look at it.
It's like MTV Cribs kind of stuff.
But it's like, what if this was like your house? Like the pool table's made out of like a Mustang engine, and then there's a spider. Look at the slide all lit up.
Aquarium room.
Oh my gosh! Oh no, that's not an aquarium. Those are bunk beds. Look, that's a.
It looks like an aquarium.
See, there's 4 bunk beds and then steps going up to the top.
That's cool.
It's unbelievable. And
some of that stuff, it's like, oh, it's cute, for like an Airbnb, but is it really realistic?
Realistic, yeah.
Like I was so dead when me and Corey first met. We were looking for a house. Well, not when we first met, but we were dating and we were looking for the first house together. Like we were living together in a loft, and then we were going to buy a house in Colorado. Well, we wanted to move up to the mountains, and we found our dream house in Evergreen, Colorado, which wasn't too far from Denver, but it wasn't too far from snowboarding and stuff. So anyway, we found it was this A-frame house. It's absolutely gorgeous, whatever. But before that one, we had gone with this real estate agent to all these, houses up in the mountains. And there was this one, and I was like dead set on us putting an offer in on this house. I loved it. And then later on, I was like, after we found the one that we really liked, I was like, why that would have been so stupid to put an offer in that. Like, you had to go up a spiral staircase to get to the kitchen. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I want to go up a spiral metal staircase to get to the kitchen? And then the kitchen's like the only thing on that floor. And then there was all these like hidden nooks and crannies. It was just a really weird house. And I was just like, this is so cool. It's like for big kids, you know, there's like all these little hideaways and stuff and like stairs that go up to these little just like nooks that you could just sit in and read. Like it had a big courtyard in the middle of it. Like it was just the weirdest house. It was something you'd see on TV, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like dead set. That's why you should always sleep on it, you know, to like put an offer in. But like, you know, it's just some of these houses, I don't know.
I saw this one on that pool show that we talked about last podcast. This guy had an indoor pool. It was indoor outdoor, if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
But it was an indoor pool, and he was like an engineer or something. But he had this whole side of the pool was like a glass window that was in their house. So it's like you could see over this ravine or whatever, and down below was the pool. But this window would hydraulically lift up.
Oh, that's cool.
So it would then turn into outdoor. But then they had like these steps that like went over it and like levitated over the pool, and the flooring of this platform was see-through. Clear, so you can look down and see into the pool.
That's so
and
cool.
They had like a shot of their kids doing homework up there, and I was like, "That's not realistic. You're not going to go up there and
do homework."
I mean, maybe.
I guess if you get so used to it, you know.
Yeah. Well, and then they had like a mosaic art piece of that famous Michelangelo or the dude reaching out, touching. You know.
Yeah.
Who is that? Oh, God.
The two hands.
The
fingertips, the touching.
But it was all done mosaically on the bottom of the pool. Like, I could not imagine.
How much do you think that cost?
I don't know.
Y'all are crazy.
It was insane.
I don't know. I mean, I guess if I just had like endless amounts of money, I'd have a crazy house like that. But I would still want a house that's smaller and not like, I could never live in one of these big, huge, you know, famous person or like celebrity houses that it's just these huge, like Kim Kardashian. It's like, you know, 50,000 square foot homes. It's like, what do you need all that space for? Like, no, it feels cold to me.
Right.
You know?
Like a team like Jake Paul and Logan Paul over in California. I think Logan's is like $7 million house. Like, and I mean, I don't think it's huge. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, comparatively, what you can find around the country, obviously you can get, you know, the
way more for that.
Our value over here is a lot better as far as that goes. But
I'd rather live on a yacht, to be honest with you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to LA next month and in a couple weeks to see my friend, and she just joined a yacht club, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited. We're gonna go on a yacht. But like, you know, Dad used to have that boat, and we had that, and it's like a livable, you know, Dad's was a 53-foot motor yacht. I mean, it was huge. It had 2 bedrooms and all that. But
so that's another way of
cool.
living.
I could totally live there.
There's a YouTube channel that I just got recently introduced to from a friend that does that. Like they do YouTube videos and they live on a boat and they travel the world. And
see, I can get down with that. What rebrand?
Right?
That is what I'm.
But like,
about.
what about? I guess you get internet on the boat and all that kind of stuff, just like a cruise ship. But like, what about like? Did Dad have to have like a boat? Like, did he have to get?
He'd call me and be like, "I'm going off the reservation for about 2 weeks. I'll holler at you when I get back." And then he'd take the boat out and he'd just be, you know, like right within cell reception. You know, like he wouldn't venture out too far because he just couldn't.
53-footer. Yeah, I could not imagine him driving that.
Yeah, it was the Tortuga 2 was the first one, and it was, oh my God, y'all, I gotta tell you this story. This is crazy. So this one was the idea was he wanted to live on it and travel go island hopping and retirement, and his retirement, that's what he wanted to do. Well, the first one was this beautiful fishing boat, you know, and it was like this wood, I mean, gorgeous, old looking, like solid, it's a wooden boat, you know, through and through. It's gorgeous. And it was called he named it the Tortuga 2 from that show Breaking Bad, I think is where he got it.
Oh no.
Yeah, so the Tortuga 2, and so he, you know, loved that. It was beautiful. It was you can live on it. He would spend weeks there. I mean, he lived on it for when he was in America. He was living on that. So it was a beautiful boat. Well, he ended up selling it, and he wanted to get like a newer, different motor yacht, whatever. So he sold that one, and these people from Australia bought it. Well, imagine getting a boat to Australia, right? Because it's like this old, you know, it's like you have to really want that specific kind of boat, like this all wooden, gorgeous boat, whatever. So these Australians come over, they meet Dad, they, see the boat, they want to buy it. They're going to ship it back to Australia. Okay. I think Dad was selling the boat for like $35,000, something like that. And they, so they bought it, but it was $25,000 just to ship it back.
Cullen. What?
Just to ship the boat back was $25,000. I'm
like,
did they not make these boats in Australia?
Was this like a Facebook Market thing?
This is like, no, honestly, he had a real, you put on a boat website or whatever. He's selling his boat. So anyway, these Australians come, they want to buy it, $25,000 to get it back. You know what these motherfuckers did, Cullen? Listen, they went to Walmart, y'all, and they bought everything that you can buy at Walmart, like sheets, towels, toiletry stuff. I mean, just everything that you could possibly buy from Walmart. And they put it in a container to ship it, right? They shipped the boat back. So the boat, they're paying to ship the boat. Mm-hmm. That one price. So whatever's in the boat is going with it. Right? They stuffed the engine compartments, every inch of that space. I mean, you're like shoving it in, trying to get the door closed to get all the crap that they spent thousands of dollars on Walmart.
Because they wanted the conversion money, like
they stuffed their boat full of it, right?
Cheaper over here?
Every inch of this boat is stuffed with some Walmart goodies. And they get back to Australia. They sold it all. They made money. They paid for the $25,000. They made their money back. It paid the $25,000 to ship. They spent $25,000 to ship it and made their money back just selling Walmart crap.
Oh my god!
Because of the price of it over there is so much more, I guess, than over here. Like they knew what to buy. That was like, oh my god, this is so cheap here. We got to get this, and we can go over there. They ended up selling all of it and making their money back. Does that not blow your mind?
That is genius, actually.
It is super genius. I'm like, I should just be doing that for a living. Like, let's just do this anyway. Let's just buy a bunch of empty boats.
That is crazy to even think about it like that.
I know, but they were smart. They
because with the AC unit the other day, last couple of weeks, I could buy the AC unit, but then to get it overnight shipped, because we wanted AC so bad, I was going to be paying double the, what the actual unit was worth. So it was like not even worth it. I'm like, well, I'm going to pay more. And I can't say I haven't done that before for some things. There's some things where I'm like,
I want it now.
I want it now, or I need it now because we got a party coming up or something. And I literally will pay more in shipping to get it overnight than the actual item. Costs, yeah, but it's not $25,000.
Cullen,
that is so crazy.
Frivolous, Cullen. It's just frivolous. Yeah, but anyway, I thought that was a good story. But he sold that, and then he bought the Tortuga, and then he bought the other boat, which was I think it was a 48 foot. That one was, but he named that one the Vagabond. He was just tickled pink to name those boats. That was his jam. But Cullen,
did he have them painted on the side?
I stayed
and
at the Vagabond. Yeah, oh yeah. I stayed at the Vagabond a lot. Like I spent weeks there. I would go down to the beach, and we had it parked down here at in Gulf Shores, like Orange Beach, Beach at this little marina. And I never took it out. I don't know how to drive a boat, but I would go and live there. And I was like, dude, I could totally live on a boat. I don't know if I could do it with kids. But if it was just me and Corey, retirement plan, we're selling everything, buying a boat.
So that makes me think about, I got an email from a brand that we were going to be working with in a little while the other day, not doing anything with actually receiving any product, just promotion. But it's for an RV company. Yeah. And there are going to be some influencers in this campaign or whatever that these RV people reached out to us about. I don't know who they are or anything like that, but they got me on their website and got me looking at all this stuff. And there's like an RV convention. Like I watched a YouTube video about this RV, and these people were like showing like a retractable shower head off the back of it and like acting like they were hosing themselves off.
Like tour bus looking ones?
Yes. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh.
And they pop out to give you more room. Some of it's like
the RV life looks legit.
Yeah. Have you ever been on outdoorsy.com?
No.
It's where you rent an RV. So I was looking the other day because we were going to Nashville for a hockey tournament next weekend.
We should rent an RV.
Yeah. So you can do it for like $115 a night, I think is the cheapest I could find. But like if you want to really nice one, it's like $200 a night, but you're in like a tour bus, like a sweet RV, like live on, like you got a kitchen, bathroom, your bedrooms, all that stuff.
This is awesome. If there are any RV companies out there that want to do like a Don't Tell Mom tour,
tour, literally, with the tour bus.
That would be amazing. We could get some RVs up in there. I remember our Papa Sam, Mom's dad, used to have an RV that stayed at one of the houses.
This is a little different. I ain't trying to live on that one, Cullen.
But I mean, we
would play on that one. That was like our playhouse.
Yeah, we'd like break into it because it was like busted up and like it was inoperable at one point. But so
it was one of a few cars in the yard.
Yeah. But so we would get up in there, and then like before I knew it, I'm like, whoa, there's a bathroom in here. Oh my god, there's a stove on this thing, and this is where the bed flips out and makes it a queen size bed, and you got a single, and you like there's all these little tricks and things in this, and this was like a 1950s RV, like it had the creative white and orange stripes on the side of it and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. Like I love watching those TV shows where they're making tiny spaces. They're making the boat like their homes. I could just sit and scroll through Zillow all day. I mean, I'm like totally down with stuff like that. I don't know if you know that. Yeah, I think you know this, but I actually had my real estate license. I got licensed and I was going to sell real estate and all that, and I ended up not doing that because I was working another job and just didn't want to leave. I just got my real estate license just to have it, like as a backup, and because I loved houses so much. Like that's literally why I went and got licensed. I think it's lapsed now, but it was it was hard.
Like, what do you have to do? Yeah, it's
like taking the bar exam, Cullen. It's like all this like legal real estate jargon.
Like, you have to know
ridiculous. Like stuff you'll never use that you need to know for the test. But the test was really hard. I had to take it more than once. So
that's crazy.
Because I was like ill prepared for how hard it was going to be.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
You're like, I'm just going to go in there and see.
Yeah, I know
what a bedroom is.
Yeah, yes, exactly. It was not like that at all. I have to go back and take this again and study this.
I would be interested in to know like what that is, what is in the details of that.
You'd be a great real estate agent.
Well, that's funny because somebody tweeted me after we did the staged house tour and was like, "So are y'all doing real estate vlogs now?" I was like, no, not typically, but should we get into it? Because after going and getting in that mindset, I'm like, huh. And then I feel like we got Gaines in the family, so there's Chip Gaines and what's that?
Yeah,
I'll be Chip, she can be Gaines, obviously.
Yeah, I love that.
I don't know. Don't they do like house remodels or?
I love stuff like that. Like all of my Instagram feed is just Southern Home, like Southern Home Magazine and Farmhouse. Like if you ever go on my Instagram and see what I've liked, if you can do that, you can go see like what the people you're following have liked today. All you'll ever see is like really offensive memes and that I've liked, and then farmhouse style homes, like these beautiful little nice, cute little houses. Like I don't like the big ones. I won't even give those the like button, but. It's the little ones that like these new like modern looking farmhouses. I'm all about that. We literally almost sold this house that we're in now and built our own house, and it was going to be like that, like a modern.
I was about to say you fell in love. You fell back in love with this house, but I was going to ask like, what is your what is your dream home? Need like I'm sitting here looking at this Top Villa stuff and like I want a pool. Like we have to have a pool.
It's a difference between like your dream home and
your needs and wants
and like what you'd be so super happy with for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Like there's a different, like I absolutely love this house. If we finished the basement and we had a pool, we have our little stairs to go down the creek, we have, you know what I mean? Like if we could pluck this out of this exact house out of here, give me a little bit more room, storage room on the, like a mud room and an extra garage space in a mud room on the main level. And then like put this on 10 acres.
Oh, so you want land. You want land.
Oh yeah, we die there. I think that everybody should have land, like with young kids, because they can just run amok. Like you're either in or out. You remember Mom saying you're either in or out.
In or out. Yeah. No, that is true, because then you can get like, I think about Roman Atwood some, if you ever watch this stuff, he's got like all the four-wheelers, all the
see, that's the kind of stuff. If you have a son, I think too. Well, girls
like
too.
the little motorized bikes that was the fun part about going to family reunions and stuff. Is there's more
Papa's house?
There's more land around there up there, and they always had the four-wheelers and stuff. And it's like, God, I want to move out to the country now.
Don't you? Every time, like I don't know. I just don't want. I want 10 acres, but I want it in town. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like in a perfect world, I'd have 10 acres right here where I'm at, like right next to the interstate and the Publix. But it'd be tucked away by a tree line that you can't even see back here. Like I want privacy. I want to walk around my whole house buck naked and no one see me. You know, like I mean, I guess I could do that here, but everybody would see me. You know what I mean?
I was about to say, that's kind of what I like about our current house and situation is in the neighborhoods, the houses are kind of close together, but there's still enough real estate in between and enough privacy and trees that you can like walk outside and pee on the tree if you want to and not anybody see you. But then the society, at least in our area, is just like,
you can't do that at the country club, Cullen. I mean, I'm sure you've peed outside a few times, but
yeah. But these builders now will just literally chop down an area and then literally put houses next to each other.
Stacked
you can
up
like
on each other.
High five each other out of the window.
I know. We actually they were going to build a house next to ours, but we bought that lot so nobody could build on it because we were like, we're already we could throw a rock and hit our neighbor right now. I walk outside on my back porch, and I love Miss Moore, my neighbor. She's like an older retired lady. She's super sweet. I love her. Corey mows her yard, when he's in town and stuff. Like she loves Corey. I don't know what it is about Corey, but the older ladies, they just love him. So and she's got him like building a fence for her and all this. But anyway, she's great. But when I walk outside, it's awkward because like literally she's right there. I can hear her conversation. If she's sitting on her porch and I'm sitting on mine, I can hear her conversation. That's how close these houses are. So yeah, ideally I like to take this house, move it to 10 acres of land with a pond and a pool, and I'd be happy. A
pond would be nice. Yes,
a fully stocked fishing pond.
Like literally, you need to look at Roman Atwood's land. I think they bought this house. I mean, built this house on this land, but he had a man-made lake, and he got one of those huge water blob things put in the lake. And
where you jump on it.
Yeah, they built like a platform off of it.
Those so bad.
And this is like in his backyard because like it's just like the freaking dream house for what he does and making videos and stuff.
That's awesome.
Golly.
God, it'd be like it's like an adult.
Look at that. There it is. Look at it. See?
Oh my God.
That is in his backyard. And look, he's got a GoPro. He's getting launched out of one of those little inflatable paddle boats.
That is so sick. Cullen, can I please have that? Like, I would want to live on the lake and do something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess if you have your own, dude. Yeah.
And see, look. Can
we win the lottery, please?
Like, that's in his backyard. A pallet. Like a bonfire,
and he's just got a blowtorch.
He's got a blowtorch pulled up next to it. Yes, so I'd say a pool and a fence are our main two things.
Yeah.
Like just so we can have more room to do things and that kind of thing. But every time I live vicariously through Roman Atwood's land. And
what do y'all think? Leave it in our voice notes, our comments and stuff. What do you think? Like, what's your dream house? What do you think about like? Building a house or moving into a house, or like which one would you prefer to do? Like I personally, before I die, I will build a house. I will build my own house and have it exactly like I want it. I can decide. I know y'all are indecisive. I can decide. I'll be like, yes, this is exactly what I want. I'll know it when I see it. But But I want to build a house for it, and I want to have it on 10 acres of land, and I want a pool, and I want a body of water other than the pool. Yeah, it's going to happen, Cullen.
Oh, man.
You just wait. It might not be here. It might not be in Alabama, but we're going to do it.
Me and Katie were talking about that, too. Moving? That was another thing. We mentioned it. We're like, the sky's the limit. Like, we could literally move.
Go anywhere. Dude, I think it would be so sick if y'all got an RV for the next year and just roamed the country.
Well, we couldn't do that with kids in the school and all that. Like, we thought about I was like, dang, this would be awesome.
Homeschool.
When I saw that email come through, I was like, dang, we could do that. But then we already paid for their school and stuff like that.
So let's be realistic.
Yeah, but then the more I was like, God, we're beach people too. Like we could go down to Mobile and try that out for a year. But then I'm like, what would I do about the podcast and all this stuff we got home.
What about Jack? Where'd y'all live in Florida?
Tallahassee.
But that wasn't by the beach, was it?
No, yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, didn't y'all hate it down there?
Get somewhere closer to the coast. It wasn't bad, but it was like one of the best times in our lives because we didn't have
kids.
We didn't have kids. We didn't have we were there by ourselves.
Yeah, just the two of you.
It was just like, there's no like any outside. There's nothing we could do if anybody needed anything,
Yeah.
And on the flip side, that was kind of hard too, because like when we found out about Dad, I was down there. I was like, I got to get back home, and it's gonna be 10 hours.
Far away, yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of stuff. You don't have
your family helping with the sitting the kid. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a little hard. Like I moved home because that's why we're even in Alabama. I personally would not live in Alabama if it weren't for y'all being here.
Oh, you want that? You don't want it. You can't eat that. You can't eat it, but you can look at it.
You can have the mermaid.
She has gotten to where she's just like,
she talks a lot, y'all. She's gonna have a personality on her. Y'all stay tuned for the next podcaster right here. She's gonna have her own show. It's gonna be the Sophia Show.
I love her little smile.
I do want Corey. He could move every 2 years, and he has. Like he literally, he gets antsy. He wants to up and move. He's just that kind of guy. He always moved growing up too. I think he wasn't really. I don't think he had like a house he grew up in. But like as far as Sophia and our kids go, I would like them to have a house that they spend a majority. Like it'd be okay, I think, to move when the youngest one is a teenager.
Yeah.
But like as far as like 1 through 10,
you got them they've made their friend groups and that kind of thing.
I'm just saying, not move neighborhoods, but like move houses. I would be okay with moving a house, but I kind of want them to be like the youngest to be over 10 years old before we move. Like I want to have a house that they can remember being children in, so.
She did it when I went.
Yeah, I know.
That's so funny.
She's at that stage where she's
imitating.
Yeah.
Corey would probably do an RV too, because he freaking loves to drive, it seems.
Oh, well, he's up in Canada right now. He's actually driving back right now from Canada. Oh, yeah, and he's so hungover. Oh, my God, Cullen sent me a picture of him butt naked in the campsite. It was a video of him, like, doing not the helicopter, the mangina.
Oh, my gosh.
I shouldn't say that on the podcast.
Like, he just sent you a picture of his sister.
Yeah. But he was just, he was like, I didn't drink very much. I was like, well, clearly you were drunk enough to send me a mangina photo. I'd like to think you were a little drunk, right?
Get it, girl.
I don't want to think you were sober for that. But yeah, he was up with all his buddies, and they're.
With the internet these days, I'm too scared to send anything because you never know what gets leaked.
Yeah, that's the thing. Corey doesn't care. He's not running for president, folks. Not anytime soon. His name on Instagram that I made him change used to be Ass Face Whitey.
I remember that.
He's not.
Look, that's a bathing suit you need to get and surprise Corey with one day.
Oh yeah, that's hot.
Roman Atwood had a skin colored bathing suit.
She's going crazy.
All right.
We'll wrap it up. But I was just gonna say.
She wants that phone back.
I was gonna say we might move to Canada and y'all can just come with us.
Oh my gosh.
Because he was at his grandma's before we went camping, and it is gorgeous, y'all. His grandma. This is his childhood memory was growing up where his grandma is called Tate's Landing. And it's his grandparents. They have like the gas station restaurant for all the boats on the lake right there. So like everybody would come and fill up their boat with gas and eat.
Oh my goodness, you don't know what to do with this phone.
No, she doesn't. But she's ready to go. So we're gonna have to wrap it up.
Thank y'all for listening to us talk about our dream home and be nostalgic about our old houses.
Yes.
Houses are on the mind right now, and they're on the market. Go get you a house. I know where one is if you need it.
Sophia says bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank y'all so much for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure to favorite this podcast and go like us on Instagram. Follow us on there. We're the Don't Tell Mom podcast. Go check us out.
Yes.
Subscribe.
Get some merch. There's a link right there below, right on YouTube. Go check it out.
Woo!
And we will see y'all next time. Don't tell Mom. Peace.
If I could just get her to say mama. Say mama. She can say ba. Look at her little mischievous smile. All right, let's go. I think she pooed.
She sharted.
I was either smelling her or you. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to be rude while we were filming.
Not me. Well, I do stink. I need to go shower.